Good morning, dear students. I am Dr. Suma Embar, Associate Professor of English, Government First Grade College, Kuvempunaga, Mysore. This is a short video on the analysis of the poem Remembrance by Mamang Dai, an Arunachal Pradesh poet. This poem has been prescribed for the Language English course of the second semester BA BSc programs of the CBCS pattern, University of Mysore. Mamang Dai was in the Indian Civil Service. She was an IAS officer who later resigned to become a writer. She is from Arunachal Pradesh. She has won many awards for her reports and written works, including the Kendra Sahitya Academy Award in 2017. She writes about her people, their culture, and the problems of her land. Arunachal Pradesh, as you all know, is in the northeast corner of India. It is also called the land of the rising sun in our country. It is bordered by China, Nagaland, and Myanmar. Most of it was occupied by China during the Indo-China War of 1962. This land is rich in biodiversity, though its total area is less than Karnataka's area. It is full of green valleys, dense forests which cover this total 70% of the area of Arunachal Pradesh. It has 7 rivers, hill tribes, and also revolutionaries who populate the forests. The major crops of the state are rice, maize, sugarcane, rare fruits, and also orchids, flower orchards. You can find rice mills and fruit processing industries in Arunachal Pradesh. In this slide, you can see a few images downloaded from the Google. The first picture is that of a Nishi tribe man. You can find lot of hill tribes in Arunachal Pradesh. Nishi tribe is one among them. In the second picture below that, you see a scene from landscape of Tawang district, which is so serene and peaceful. In the third picture, you see a view of the Tawang town and also the Tawang monastery at the center of the picture, which is the huge building that you can see. This is supposed to be the second largest monastery in the world, Buddhist monastery. In the last picture, you get a glimpse of the dances, the traditional Tutsa tribe dances during a festival. These pictures give you just a glimpse of what Arunachal Pradesh and its culture is. Let's have a look at the poem now. The first stanza of the poem begins with a self-introspective question. The speaker of the poem describes rain, calm nights, green plants by the roadside. Here we notice that the speaker uses the first person plural we. She seems to be the spokesperson for her community. Why did we think it was trivial? She asks sadly. It means that the beauty and calmness of nature or life was unnoticed or ignored until it was destroyed by war and social unrest. The speaker is remembering the beautiful past of their land and community which is gone forever. Therefore, the first stanza begins on a sad note. In the second stanza, the speaker continues to ask, why did we think survival was simple? The question why indicates that they had taken for granted many things. Even survival was assumed to be very natural. But now survival has become a challenge. They thought their land was undisturbed due to the Himalayan mountains. Now even the river and the fields are disappearing. Can you guess what the reasons can be? Arunachal Pradesh is also getting modernized. Hydroelectric industries are the main industries, and also their economy is fast changing. Along with this, we see a lot of political action and conflicts in that region, northeast region. Earlier the land was safe. No stranger could even dream of dominating them. But now the peace and silence of the land are gone. The people of Arunachal Pradesh are living a day-to-day existence, facing dangers every day and feeling very tense about the uncertain future. In the third stanza, the speaker describes how the insurgency or the revolutionaries populate the forests, how the war is destroying the social fabric. The Indian army has changed their society. She describes how nature is disturbed due to the fights between the Indian army and the insurgents. Insurgents are revolutionaries who protest against the Indian army. They have specific demands for which they are leading an armed struggle. So she says, this summer it rains more than ever. Footfall of soldiers is drowned and scattered. The reference to the footfall of soldiers indicates that the natural sounds were smothered due to the activities of the army, but when it rains more, the footfall of soldiers can be drowned. The unofficial news tells them that the weapons are multiplying in the forest. Weapons symbolize the armed revolutionaries hidden in the forest. The people are apprehensive. They are full of tension about the wars and future. The poet doesn't reveal the tension among the people directly. She uses a calm tone to describe the dangerous future. Their normal life is disrupted. They no longer know what is waiting for them in future. In this picture, you get the images of the Indian army in the streets of Arunachal Pradesh. Here is a picture of the insurgents in the forests and fields of Arunachal Pradesh. Here are typical village folk of Arunachal Pradesh, and here is a Sunday fair where the women are selling the forest produce and native grown, homegrown vegetables and other green grocery. Their normal life is disrupted due to the continuous struggle for freedom and demands by the insurgents and the act of the army where so many prohibitions are put upon the people too. In the fourth stanza, the poet describes a feeling of their personal loss due to the continuous conflict between the insurgents and the Indian army. The speaker says, the jungle is a big eater. It refers to the terrors of the forest. Young boys and girls were forced to join the insurgents group hidden in the forest. Now the Indian army has started signing schools to convince the young boys and girls not to join the insurgents and join the Sainik schools. Afterwards, they would have no life or future once they join the insurgents. Jungle eats them. Eats is a metaphor. They fight against the army and the people. The green color now is not the positive color of the forest. It is now the color of the uniform, causing terror. That is why it is carnivorous, which eats. They have even forgotten their gods, who were worshipped or remembered through cultural memory, preserved through arts, trees and stones, which were worshipped as form of nature, and folk myths, which were told as tales to babies, stories and tales from Puranas. All these are now forgotten by the people of Arunachal Pradesh. People now have ceased to believe in their gods. They no longer believe that their gods would take care of them. So God dies. Here, the paradox is that God exists only when we think of God or only when we remember God. They worship nature since the beginning of evolution. Now their beliefs are changing. In the fifth stanza, the poet ends the poem with a reference to a ray of hope or a desire to survive. The speaker says that they are people of the Himalayas. They don't know what the others think of them. They are struggling to find a stable and safe future. They are foragers for a destiny, she says. They are searching for a destiny. They look at the hills every day. Sky is not defeated by the mountains. Similarly, the spirit and hope of the people of Arunachal Pradesh cannot be defeated by anything or anyone. The hills are the symbol of the huge challenges and obstacles in their lives. The last stanza ends in a positive tone. She is hopeful for the better future for her people. Now let's try to summarize what she is trying to say. The poem begins with a sad reference to their lost happiness and peace as well as destroyed nature. The speaker describes the reasons for the changes in their lives. She indicates how the war and political conflict are destroying normal life. She also explains that they have already forgotten their rich cultural past. She says, though they have not much contact with the outside world, they are going to survive and their future will be better. The speaker represents her community in the present times. We have already noticed that she refers to her community and herself as we. Her tone is calm, but we notice a lot of hidden anger, despair and sorrow in her lines. There is a sense of pain, which is evident through her questions, why? Simple language is used by the poet, but we need to know a bit of Arunachal Pradesh history to understand the pain of a community. Finally, let us also realize that writing the poem is a kind of assertion. Writing means recording the emotions and experiences of a community. It is a kind of representation. It is also a form of remembrance. Therefore, it is a conscious act of communication to the next generation. Thank you.